Okay, here is the video about the desk. This was actually a lot of work to figure out, so I'm going to go through it step by step for you. Yeah, okay, so the first thing that I did is I went on my level 1 and I made a duplicate. So I did a duplicate view, duplicate with detailing, and I named it reception desk floor plan. And here is my reception desk floor plan. And it took me a lot of work to get it to this point. The first thing I did was put in, well, the very first thing I did was make it 1/2 of an inch. I cropped it down, from the big plan. I cropped it down and hid that crop line. I put in a elevation symbol in the back, an elevation symbol in the front, and a section symbol in the middle. Sorry, right here. I then divided my wall because my wall was already there. So what I divided that into 3, and from this wall to this wall was 18 feet 6 inches. So it was an easy 6 feet 2 for me. Or sorry, yeah, 6 feet 2. Divided it in 3. So 18.6 divided by 3 is 6 foot 2. Oh my God. Okay. And so we put that together here, 6 feet 2, 6 feet 2, 6 feet 2. I chose to make my dividing panel here 3 inches. You can have 2 inches, you could have 4 inches, you could have 5 inches. I don't think I'd go to 1 inch. I mean, I guess you could. I don't, yeah, anyways, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. What I'm envisioning it being for me is a framework, and then inside the framework would be like a 3-form resin panel that's kind of see-through, but has some sort of pretty design on it, of some sort or another. Okay. And I just made this with a wall. I made this with a basic wall and did the edit type. And then I did the duplicate, changed it to SC desk panel, which I'm not going to do, went into structure and changed the structure to 3 inches. And then I made my little wall. Okay. So that's how I got that wall. What I did next is I put in just the regular countertop island in the components. Okay. So I put in one of those and kind of positioned it and made it, the width I wanted and the depth I wanted. And then I copied. And then I ended up changing the size of it again, in which I'll talk about. So that's just a regular countertop. This is a detail line. Oh, geez. And I'll talk about that. And so these are detail lines. This is a detail line. This is a detail line. So I had turned off my wall below, hid it in just the element. And then in my hidden view, I used a detail line and did the hidden for the line style, and then just drew over this. And so then in regular view, I can see that wall below. Okay. The reason why I made these two deeper, so the receptionist is sitting here, and they have roughly 2 feet depth of workspace right here. Okay, so their knees would go under here, and this is their workspace. You know, they probably have a computer somewhere in here, whatnot. Okay. And then I chose to have these two where a person could have a chair right here and they could sit down, and when they check in or when they are making a new appointment, right? So if they just can't stand for a really long time, they can pull up a wheelchair here, or we could have a chair here for them to sit down in. This is also handicapped accessible right here. This is well over 3 feet. So a person in a wheelchair could sit right here. They just don't, you know, they couldn't put their knees underneath, right? So this is where they would have they can put their knees underneath if there was a chair here. And then what these are representing, again, these are just detail lines. What this is representing is this is representing where it goes up in height. And so this is where a able-bodied person could, maybe this is where they have their little um, thing that you put your credit card in, or you can, fill out paperwork here. So it's only 1 foot by 2 foot, but that's plenty of space to like fill out a document or, write out a check or whatever it is that they're doing here. There would probably be, well, I mean, it's really hard to say. Again, this is a big, long conversation with your client of exactly what they would want here. There might be a little wall somewhere, so the back of their computers are kind of hidden. There's so many different ways these are designed nowadays. I'm just having mine completely open. Maybe their computer is right here, and then this is all completely open so they can help this person. Anyways, get on with it, Shelley. And then I have dimensions. Dimension, 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 dimension. I'm dimensioning this and I'm saying tip, right? So I don't have to dimension all 3 of them because I'm just dimensioning that once. I'm dimensioning this tip all. There's a 2-inch difference right here. So I don't have to dimension that everywhere. I should probably dimension from here to here too. So I'm just dimensioning a bunch of stuff, okay? And then I'm also saying what things are. Again, I'll do this later after I do the finishes. I'll do this later after I do the finishes. This is pretty much what and the thing is you don't have to do this. You could have every one of them look like this because this is handicapped accessible. I'm just like going, or maybe you only have one of these where there's a chair here. Or maybe you just do all of them like this. If you do all 3 like this, I would move this wall out to meet, this way. Yeah, because I don't think, but you wouldn't want or I mean, it would probably be impossible to do anyways because it would break. you would need support on this end if you were to do that. Or actually, yeah, have it come to there, whatever. We can talk about it individually if you want me to, if you want to. Back elevation. Back elevation. So this is what we would be seeing from the back. Again, I'm doing some dimensioning. This is 2'6" to the top of the countertop because that is desk height. So that's 30 inches. That is desk height. So the worker here is comfortable. We could go up to 3 feet for the handicapped accessible portion, but I'm just keeping this all at 2'6". Okay. I'm dimensioning width of that here. I'm dimensioning the height of it here, and then I'm going to put the finish for it here. So again, I'm saying tip, tip, tip. So I don't have to keep on doing it 3 times. Support as needed. So there would be a support system, a little piece of 3/4 inch. So this is 3/4 inch MDF, and I think I just made it like 6 inches long. And it would be, what it would be is, I'll just dimension. So a side view of that would be, oh, it's not gonna let me. A side view of it would be something like this, that they connect to the wall and back, and then they connect to the, so it's just like a little support wedge, if you will. And from the front, we would be seeing, just the thin, the thin profile of it. Again, I'm saying tip, so I don't have to do it 3 times. I could be, do 3 inch, 6 inch, 3 inch, 6 inch, so I'm completing that. I could have the height of this. Here I have, paint X typical, so I don't have to do that everywhere. How these are actually constructed, I didn't really think about much. It's probably just kind of a box. Yeah, I really didn't think about it much. So we have this height, we have that height, we have this width, we have that height. We have this width, and then you would put 3 inch, et cetera, et cetera. And then again, you could have the height of this. My front elevation, I have all of that done. So again, height, width. This time I did do all 3 of them. Again, if I were to say tip and tip, I wouldn't have to do all 3 of them. Again, I wouldn't, if I said tip here, I wouldn't have to do this twice. So from the front of these two, this juts out, and I would see it, the edge of that here. Let me make sure I'm, well, not necessarily. Let's just say the box is sitting on top of the countertop. I could say that here too. Oh God, thought I was ready for this. But what I did, I'm just going to get rid of it. What I did do is I did a annotate region, and then I did a mask region, and I masked this whole area. So I got rid of these lines. So this would be all flush. If I get rid of that mask, all of a sudden, it's we could see this countertop, which is fine. I'm just going to say that there's a box on top of the countertop, which is a little weird, but it's just what I'm going to do. Finishes, 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 dimension, dimension, dimension. Okay, this is what the front would look like. That's what the back looks like. Section looks like this. So we're only, so what, the reason why I said, you know, I didn't really think about how that taller portion is constructed is just because we are going through right here, right? And then after I did that, I moved this in. And actually, after I put in these, I also adjusted where I'm looking here. Oh God, don't change it. So I'm, you know, just looking right where I want to be looking. Oh, this is going too far. I don't want to be going that far. Okay. Sometimes in the views, you end up getting like the side of a door or something. And so when that happened, so there was a side of the door here, or I can't remember which one was which. I hid it in view just because it started to get kind of, you know, it just took away from the um, simplicity of what's going on here. Okay. So we're only going through right through the accessible portion. So in my section, this is 2.6. And this is where I made a lot of the changes because it was really easy for me just to bring this down to the height that I wanted it to be. And then I could make the wall the height that I wanted it to be. I could make this the width that I wanted it to be. So I did a lot of the actual desk changes in this receptionist desk view. Then we see our, I actually changed, yeah, I changed this to be the 4 7/8 partition 1 hour because it looks like this. The other ones, you know, didn't give me what I wanted here. So this I actually changed to that 1 hour, 4 7/8 partition. Okay. You can see the gypboard on either side. We have a 4-inch metal stud. I'm just saying P2, you know, we can talk about that when we get to finishes. Again, we can talk about this when we get to finishes. I'm putting in the heights of things. This is 1.5 inches thick as usual. Again, I'm giving the receptionist 2 feet of space and then that other person a foot and 1 inch. And, you know, change that to be less. I wouldn't change this to be less, you know, or this could be, maybe this is just flush right here and you're not doing this. Again, that's up to you. And then what I'm choosing to do is I'm choosing to do one layer of 3/4 inch MDF with a 3/4 inch layer of solid surface material, which you haven't chosen. Solid surface materials like Corian or, um, you know, it's like the surface material that you see quite a bit. So, and then this is a detail line of what that would look like. Again, I'm seeing the section of it so I can see the lines. If you just wanted plastic laminate, then your section line would just be like that, and you would have 2 layers of 3/4 inch MDF, and then the laminate would be super thin on top, and we wouldn't see that. Okay, it's kind of like the bathrooms and the other cabinetry. So if you want to do that, then in this note you would say 2 layers of 3/4 inch MDF with XXX for now, and we'll figure it out later. Okay. So that's my section. So you would put these, the plan, the elevation next to each other on the sheet. And again, if this is my sheet, we have those other 4 sections. So we have, you know, the other sinks and whatever you have going on then. Then you would want the plan, front, back section of the reception desk. Plan always goes first, and then the front below it. I mean, this, I guess it doesn't matter, back, front, it doesn't, this doesn't really matter, but you always for sure want the plan first, and then the section would be the last. So this would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know. Well, I'll see you on tomorrow and on Friday, and I actually might be in person on Friday. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. I think I'm done.